Resonance with Akindara. Hello, my soul family. Hello, my dearest ones. Welcome to the Roar and Resonance podcast, and I am Akindara. I am so excited that you are here with me, and I know it's been some time since I last posted. The last time I posted was during our recap of the full moon in Capricorn, our sacred soul gathering. So I want to take this moment and just ground us in this space, and I want to ask you how you are showing up with this space. What is coming into your field, especially as we are at that point, right? We just closed out June and we are invited in the energy of July. And if you're new to this space at this time, welcome, my love. This space, Roar and Resonance, this community, it's portal, this jumping pad into our highest timeline creation. It is a place for us to recognize that every single aspect of our lives serve us to be at this point, to transmute all of that, to unfold, to be within our power, and to grow, expand, and to jump timeline, as well as to offer our own gifts, our own soul's offering to the world. And if you're returning, I love you so much. I hope to see you at our next Sacred Soul Gathering, and that is coming up on the full moon in Capricorn. And the information, you can find that in our website and the links below. And if you haven't done so, I would invite you to subscribe, click that notification bell to stay tuned to the latest messages. And I've been mainly active within Instagram, so definitely connect with me there. I respond to all the comments as well as the messages, as I do here in YouTube. And if you would like to get some special updates and offerings, sign up for my newsletter thing in my website. And I promise you, I personally do not like being bombarded with a whole bunch of emails. So I will consciously and intentionally be sending only one to approximately 3 or 4 emails a month. Even it'll be rare-ish to be more than 2. So, alright. So without further ado, I want to come in here and honor our June. What was June like? How did after the pinnacle moment of the summer solstice, what showed up for you, especially as we met that initial bookend of the June 21st full moon in Capricorn, and now we're in this phase, right? And so June 21st was like the first degree of Capricorn, and July 21st of 2024 will be the full moon in Capricorn at the last degree, I think at 29 degrees. And with that, like, Capricorn energy as Saturnian energy is this linear focus around our karmic contracts, our bindings. And June, that moment after there was probably a lot of contracts coming to a close, and in the sense, right, many shifts within the foundation of who we are. And July brings in this energy of more ease and grace, more nourishment. Whereas for June, right after the summer solstice, I think there was felt like a lot of resistance and not truly understanding the resistance. And it just felt uncomfortable, almost like uncomfortable, not safe to be within the body, to be within the womb of creation. And it just felt binding. But by the end of June, when we acknowledge and I'll share in a little bit of why I'm saying this too, is that when we acknowledge the resistance and acknowledge where it comes from, right? Why then we are able to welcome in an expansive energy of July. So personally for myself, June was about this reconnection to the sacred masculine that is within me and all around me. As I started my journey, I mainly focused on the awakening and remembrance of the divine feminine, the sacred feminine. But this month was all focused around the sacred masculine, as well as the connection to the inner child, the genius inner child. And what supported me through a modality that supported me through this recollection and remembrance is something called family constellation. So if you're not familiar with it, family constellation, this is an excerpt from Maureen, who was the facilitator of the one that I did at Salt House in Princeton, New Jersey, is family constellation engages the subconscious to address the underlying symptoms and causes of the problems we are facing in our lives. Often, this involves a combination of ancestral programming, trauma for early childhood, and entanglements. And the purpose of family constellation is to bring back together what was once separated. It is a reconciliation between your childhood and adulthood, inner child, adult self, parents and child, love and misunderstanding. So during this family constellation, I served as what they call a representative. So that means that instead of doing the my own constellation, I actually served to stand in for other people, to represent energies or figures for other people. So in other words, I was holding space. I was using myself as the container to hold the energetic frequencies for a person's particular constellation. And in this activity, I served, interestingly enough, and in a way so comical, is that I served as a father figure, an inner little boy for the same person twice, and a business. And the energies that came through for all of these positions were this deep sacred masculine, this masculine energy. And what was so interesting is that when I was standing in and representing the father figure, there was this deep, deep stillness, like, wow, no thought. And this is crazy being that, and I also felt really strong and rooted too. And why I'm saying this is so crazy is amazing, crazy in the wow way, is like as a Gemini moon, my interior world is constantly buzzing with thoughts, with downloads, with information. I'm always connecting dots. I'm always like, there's information flowing in. I'm always philosophic, whatever, sizing around like the thought. And even when I try to tell myself to quiet, I'm like, then all of a sudden go on a whole tangent, as I am right now, with the idea of quiet and stillness. When I was standing in, though, for the father archetype, I was in complete stillness. It's like, this is what other people hear. I'm sure many of you may resonate with that. And at the same time, I think in this particular constellation, I was like, I felt the strong, like the natural gifts and abilities of the sacred masculine, that being rooted, being strong and formidable. But in this particular instant, there was this almost like powerlessness to like, and I'm not able to, I guess in toxic family dynamics, like, I'm not able to be that father for you, but I truly, strongly desire that connection with you. And at the same time, feeling so proud that when my inner child takes a step. And here's another goodie, is that when I work with ancestral lines, regardless of how these, my mom, my dad, and all, how they show up, present themselves in the physical world, their soul, meaning their deepest core, are all our souls, is nothing short of love and truly desiring this soul, like the child soul. So let's say in relation, my mom and myself. My mom's soul's aspect truly desires my soul aspect to march forward. And there was an imagery that I saw, I think it was yesterday, where it was an image of how generational trauma and generational program, they make their way down the line until someone says and decides to actually feel the trauma and to work with the trauma and transmute it. That person then becomes that generational trauma, that chain breaker, way shower, trailblazer. And that's what I'm sensing here, is that you're not arriving in the space without any reason, and you're not questioning. And if you start to question, like, there has to be more, and there is more, and recognize and figuring out ways to get there. And as you transmute from victimhood to creator, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying when you are a way shower and a trailblazer, and you are here to break the chain. And that is something to very much applaud about. And what was interesting after this, with this whole experience inspired me to just welcome in the masculine structure. And we can find the masculine structure in many things. Someone funny enough said, their car it's the feeling of being held within a container that you can trust it to get you from point A to point B. But it's like also your roots, right? Your values, your purpose. Do you hear the tone of how I'm saying it? Is that trust in the roots that you've laid, and trust in this body to hold the width, depth, heights of your consciousness. Learning to trust within your physical and spiritual structures to hold fort for you to be able to dive deep into the mysteries. And part of structure, right? Like another example, like muscle, your bone, your nervous system, they are all structures that are meant to hold you. And we look at divine masculine, divine feminine, there's the ultimate, like 0 point for each of them in a way. And then there's the gradient that happens, like with lean in one side or the other. And here, what I want to emphasize is that the masculine that I speak about is like that, the way that it holds like this very my hands are like punching each other right now, but like this strong, tangible hold that you feel. And this comes in a way of boundaries too. When we learn, so one thing I learned is to trust in the masculine structure of me, and to stand in those moments where you stand up and vocalize and you hold your grounds, you hold your boundaries. That is the piece of your masculine showing up. And by doing so, by creating boundaries, by learning to say no, you create room for the feminine within you to fill the space with more yeses. And you're able to, and the feminine within us enjoys, savors moments and that courtship of life very deeply. So with that, right, I closed the contract with my father and other masculine figures in my life, teachers, and who contained like this very unhealthy relationship with the masculine, a line that's so filled with anger, frustration, distrust. They were absent, they abandoned, they were either dead, or they're just toxic control and domination and manipulation. And I released the bindings of the unhealthy masculine within me, while embracing with open arms the emotional fortitude, leadership, purpose, protection, resiliency, grounded thinking, and accountability of the healthy, divine, and whole masculine. And when I did that, it had like this light bulb moment where it's like the moment I acknowledge that, right? I awakened like this deeper purpose within myself. And being a tantrika of sacred union, the wise, wild, and free divine cosmic priestess of the Order of the Rose, I learned how to create safety and security for myself, and to represent and stand in as the sacred masculine, to represent the sacred masculine within me. And that awakened the tantrika in me to be able to feel the fullness, that depth of what it means to live as a goddess on earth, being able to dance and being able to live more fully. And also, the other I connected was with my inner child, and recognizing that in all the constellation, our inner child, our genius inner child, there not only is she or he a child that we are here to protect. When we look at constellation, and we look at the inner child that shows up as the victim of circumstances, having to stand up for the unconscious adult within us, looking out for us, reacting, and all of these if we start to see how by looking at her as a victim, right, I in turn disempowered my inner child, victimizing her and discrediting her own power. And when I recognized that aha moment, I'm going to choose to honor my little me, who did the best that she could, to the best of her abilities, to acknowledge the pain that she felt from an absentee mother or an avoidant father. And now the adult me, is stepping in to be the advocate, to protect her, to advocate for her, and to love my little one. And in the physical realm, right, as the adult self, we have many people, but our inner child only has us. Like, really think about that. Our inner child only has us. So if we ignore our inner child, that inner child has nowhere else to turn to. And in turn, it will reveal itself in all of our relational dynamics. And here's an example. When we forego the relationship that we have with our inner child, it shows up in, for example, a marriage where one of the two partners will end up being the mother or father figure of their partner's inner child, foregoing the roles of what it means to be marital equal partners. That's when one ends up being the one that overly take cares of the other one, or emotionally avoid it, like this whole combination of things. So that's interesting how that shows up. It's also comical because I've been writing this one blog for like the longest bit of time as I'm like trying to figure out how to word things. And the reason why I'm laughing at that, because it all ties into the energy, and how it also, now we're going to start tying into July too, is that as I welcomed in the sacred masculine and my inner child, I am setting myself up for this deep connection to the divine mother's womb, this womb space, the womb that even if you may not have a womb, we all do, energetically or cosmically. The womb, the power of creation. I'm just feeling energies coming through right now. So I end up like, whew. And one of the interesting thing too that came up as a final contract to close out for June was that I felt very undeserving of being in the certain containers that I was in with people, light language activators, quantum healer, community. And I just felt like this deep line of disconnection to the power of the womanhood, to each other, to themselves, all within my line. And I had a moment where I felt my own mother's fear and feelings of being undeserving as a mother when I was a child in her womb. And while in her womb, I did not feel safe. Her uncertainty and fear became mine, and in turn, I did not feel safe in my own power of creation or my womb. And our womb, and others, is that sacral area. So with the sacral chakra, right? Sacral chakra is about our sexuality, our creative power, our energy, our fire. And that it connects directly to not only our safety, our root chakra, but also to our solar plexus chakra, our power center. So you see how it all interconnects, but being that it was such a deep wounding in myself as well as in my line, it was like energy is like stuck. But once you start working on one chakra, for example, it starts creating like a triple ripple effect to the other ones. So I took on this fear, and through quantum healing and family constellation, I was able to energetically cut the umbilical to my mother and given back the fear, pain, and disconnection and womb trauma in a nicely wrapped golden package, healed package to my ancestors. And doing so, most magical thing, and now we enter into July's energy, is feeling a deeper connection to the womb of Gaia. And I could hear her heartbeat and feel comforted by it. And I was able to connect to the water within her womb and to surrender to its comfort and trust that the nutrients that Mother Gaia is taking in is going to me, and I will be able to take that with so much more fullness and security. So coming in full circle, right? Being the breath. I am the breath of Gaia. I am her heartbeat. Her reflection. I am love. I am light. I am a child of immaculate conception. So we enter in July now, and July brings forth this beautiful, beautiful energy of just new hope, beginning, change, and power. The word power is coming in loudly through our dragons. So when as I deepen into my practice of tantric, and it's just another modality of just deepening, just to feel your emotions, to allow the emotions, energy, emotion to move through you, to guide you, and to trust your body's wisdom. So Tantric invites us to deepen into our feelings, to feel the frequencies, tones, and vibrations of what it means to be an eternal soul having a human experience, to see others as containers and sovereign beings of energies too, and recognize that we are all part of the one. So when I take a deep breath. When I close my eyes to the energies and downloads coming through, I see a vibrant sea of colors, fractals of lights bouncing, rainbows, threads through the galaxy. And at the center of all of that is a rose that is blooming. It is the warmth, the hearth of Mother Gaia's love. This infinite loop of eternity that gently reminds us that the infinite is all around us, within us, above and below. And June was closure, right? But now this bookend, right? June 21st, July 21st. This period of recognizing the karmic contract, releasing it, but now this integration and embodiment that's going to happen from now, I think, the deepen all the way till potentially after September too. And July invites us to deepen into our hearts, into our desires to not bind the fire, and to allow ourselves to truly be seen, nourished, and witnessed. July calls for us to lean into the mother's womb, wisdom and womb, to feel safe at home as one within her womb. It is within her womb that we are able to gently unfold into the perfect child of creation that we are. And July beckons the sweet release of what no longer adorns our life with joy, peace, and harmony and love. And July courts us to truly embrace the wholeness of all that we are, to dive into the depths of the masculine and feminine, to be wild, to rise free. And after all, we are born wise, wild, and free. July asks us to embody our power of creation, to understand it, to integrate it, and to be the power of creation, to embody a being alive, living as an eternal being in human flesh, to savor this blessings and nutrients of Mother Gaia's womb, and to truly admire and be all for what all that is. If June was all about facing and finding the sacredness within resistance, then July is about softening into what we were resistant and to allow ourselves to be held, to feel heard, to acknowledge all that we have, how trauma, generational trauma, and childhood trauma influence us, and witness that pain and release that pain. And now choosing to own and acknowledge our own power and our own power of creation, recognizing that you are a child of creation, and to come here with a purpose burning bright in your soul and reclaiming your space. July brings in this energy of the moon, a major arcana, a turning point. And the moon's energy, Cancer, fourth house, home, motherhood, family, again, right? So within the safety and safe confinement of the Divine Mother's womb, this is working with like Mother Isis, Kali Ma, Osho, Ametarsu, Kuan, this beautiful, very gentle love and energy, and to really look at where within your home, like what is home for you, and within the space that you call home, within either your own body as the home or in your physical home, what do you want to fill the space with? Souvenirs of travels that you are so passionate about? And are you also ready to honor and release any cobwebs of your past? Things that you just no longer resonate with and are ready to, in a way, donate, to give away. And here's a fun exercise too if you want to do. Especially we have a lot of personal planets right now. Mars, Venus, the Sun, Mercury either are or will be in transitant Cancer. You can do your own astrological natal chart, which is your divine blueprint that tells you what you're here to do, is to see where these planets are landed in correspondence to your natal chart's like house. And that house that's being illuminated, the moon energy is what's being almost like, hey, look at this area. How can we invite more ease, love, grace, and even like a cleansing in the particular house. And July calls for us to feel the deep lusciousness of simply being. Being within our own body, being with nature, being in love with all that is, being present with the emotions, with our rawness, being authentic to our truth, being honest with our deepest desires, and just truly being in the comfort and safety of Mother Gaia's womb. If our body is our home, then how do we create more love, beauty, and joy so that we can hold more light? And it feels so good. Like this energy is like this beautiful love and energy, and it's coming in like gentle waves, like caresses, like deep, like these beautiful like breath of fresh air. Moms, divine mothers, and it feels so velvety, like like velvet, like that silk or like a really good fabric, just feels like very nice against your skin. Decadent, warm, and just like there's like gentle songs, and it's just like soothing. It feels so soothing, and it soothes that aches and pain of just growth. Oh, and it tastes like biting into like the sweetest strawberry, or that beautiful fresh scent of like freshly squeezed lemon. Oh, or chocolate. And I just hear like it's like this immaculate divine orchestration, like a symphony of songs. I feel the sisterhood of the rose. I feel again Mother Isis coming through, Mary Magdalene. I feel like as golden, being a golden timeline weaver, I know I'm like, as I'm speaking this, as I write it, as I speak it, it's like weaving in that energy, gridding that energy into Gaia. And July really does acknowledge like there's a new beginning on the horizon. Like, oh, we're almost there. Meaning like it's about time. Like that 9 month is almost up. We're about to be birthed. Which is so funny because what came through too was like a lot of baby dragons, and like this really, and the dragon again is a symbol of our power. It's almost to say like as we are the little baby dragons in an egg or in the womb, and the cosmic umbilical cord that connects us to the divine mother's womb, she is sharing her breath, her blood, her essence, nutrients. And this is all to support us. Like, can you close your eyes and just see your dragon and become that dragon, become our power, and fully be the power of creation? And in doing so, like, we're able to do all of that to truly become that power, all within the safe confinement of the divine mother's womb. We don't have to worry. We don't even have to question why we're here. There is no questioning. It's just simply being, like she is so happy that you are here with her. And that is the power and beauty of being safe in the womb. Oh, and there were so many different types of baby dragons coming through. Some beautiful red, pinkish one with like surrounded by a luscious of roses. And particularly, it was interesting. Carnations came through, roses came through, and snowdrops. No hope, beginning, change. And I had other dragons like surrounded by seashells, the sounds of the oceans and pearls. Dragons surrounded by like a cosmic blanket of stars. A dragon that's in like sunflowers, and all of which they're all what's that thing that people do? Oh, swaddled. They're swaddled in a blanket. They're completely adorable. I can't wait to share them with you guys. And the last bit I can share that would say with July's energy is that July calls us to come out into the playground, into this playground called life, and just have fun. To laugh at all the human messiness, and while receiving the nutrient and all the care and love and that unconditional love of the Divine Mother. And to unfold to the love that is within us, to embrace the power of creation, just play, unfold with ease and wonder, and let be. And honestly, to have fun decorating our life too. So that was like the channeled bit. I'm just seeing, let's see. Let's do, I think there are, 5 weeks in July, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 weeks in July. So let's do 5 cards, 1 for each week. Okay, let's see. First week, please. Thank you. To leap. You go first and the universe will catch you. It is time to fly, baby. Our wings are strengthened. And what's so crazy too, in the last weekish of June, as I started to release it, and we talked about this in our previous episodes too, is that resistance is very much needed process in us strengthening ourselves so that we can fly. And I shared this with someone, like it's like the same thing as birthing. Is like that resistance that happens, it helps clear off like the skin on the baby so the baby can breathe. Right? There's this natural process, and same thing with a snake too. If you're not resonating with the birthing idea, the snake has to go against, I think they're the right environment, then it wedges itself against something a little solid, and that resistance helps with the shedding of the skin. So this resistance that we feel, and the same thing with in a bird's egg too, like a dragon's egg, is that pushing against the shell is helping to build the neck muscle, and back muscle, all the muscles, so that when that dragon hatches, then you can fly. So take leap, trust, say yes. You go first. The universe will catch you. It's time to fly. So let's say week number 2. Week number 2, what do we have here? Thank you. Unbound. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. All right, so that means, sounds like week 2, there's going to be a little bit of resistance. And that's interesting because the new moon is coming up on July 5th. And then the 7/7 portal, which is all about abundance. So could be some soul patterns, contracts around being seen, fully embracing your powers, to truly feel the abundance. Like you ask for abundance, and then there's this resistance, and you're like, why is that not coming? Why no abundance? Well, the resistance is then like, yeah, you want abundance, but there's still like something that you want to like take a look at. The power of 3 too. So this alignment of mind, body, soul, alignment of the maiden mother and crone energy, our inner child, the parenting in us, and as well as the wise one within us. All right, 3rd week of July, please. 3rd week of July. Okay, this one. Thank you. Soul family, calling in our tribes. You don't have to do it alone. All right, this is talk, and I see my eyes are focused on the whale and the dolphin. Dolphins are joy and embodiment for me, and whales are like the wisdom keeper, so Akashic records. So if you want to dive deep, if you're already diving deep into the Akasha, this would be a great opportunity to connect to your soul family and cosmic ancestors. Or if you're not, then that's something that you can actually reach out or want to do together. We can definitely do it together. Maybe even light language activation. Being connected. Okay, thank you. Okay, 2 cards for the 4th week. Oh, that energy. Okay, so that's interesting. And that's leading up to the full moon in... It's interesting, call in your soul tribe. So if there's gatherings, like we have our Sacred Soul gathering this month for the full moon. So if you're very interested in just being surrounded by community to share your story and know that you can share it in a way that you are completely witness. We're not to fix each other because there's nothing broken to fix. And you are an immaculate child of creation. So that Sacred Soul Gathering, I believe it is, check the date on the below, but I believe it's July 19th on a Friday. I believe that's the case, but I'll double check on the date. Check out my website. Okay, so this is interesting because I have, let's say, week 1, 2, 3. Oh. I'm counting Mondays as the week. Sorry, I probably should have done it differently. Well, either way, it happened for a reason. So now let's say the Mondays. This is the Monday after the full moon in Capricorn. So let's say July 22nd. I have dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Ooh. Maybe a good to dance. Ooh, and the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits and soul tribe. All right. You guys we have to all see each other, because I think whoever's listening to this, I know you're part of my soul tribe, and I want to meet you. To dance with life, do something for a change. I feel inspired. Maybe we'll have a full moon dance party. To dance with life, to savor and be. But this feels really good, is that the Great Gathering and Dance of Life is like what you're releasing on week 2, so that's July 8th, right after the Sirius 7/7 portal. And then July 15th, Soul Family. So this is going to be interesting, between the new moon up to the full moon. Like there's something that's going to be released, and we'll get to celebrate it on July 22nd. All right, last one, baby, for July 29th. Week of July 29th. Thank you. I love it. The ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. The sisterhood of the rose, this beautiful unfolding that's happening, is that we are all a seed, right? And a seed of full, complete potential, and we are unfolding. And cracking open and spreading our wings and are flying. Oh, that's so beautiful. Let's see, any other messages? Anything that we want to clear out? Any additional support for? Okay. This deep longing for home and belonging. You asked for being able to connect to your soul tribe. I would say, invite you to be curious around the resistance, because you asked for. I actually had a really great conversation with somebody too, where they asked to be able to have a clear direction in their career, and they were receiving signs to say like, hey, your career's this way, but the person was afraid. There was some fear around actually going against it because of the unknown and the instability, the not truly seeing the whole picture. So the invitation here is to get comfortable with the unknown, and also to kind of laugh too. Like we call in for something we desire, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh no, fear come up, and that's the invitation, right? The fear that comes up is the invitation, like, and to question, to be curious around it. Why is fear showing up for? Why do I feel a fear? About the unknown and everything? Oh, I love to. And that fear very much is real too. That came in the beginning of the month for me, like around this time, where I just felt fear about like, okay, time is about to fly soon. I'm about to fly. And it's to work with that fear, right? And that's where, and the mother's energy for this month is very much here to support us with that. Oh, thank you so much for being here, my love. I love you so much. I am so thankful for you. I am so thankful to be within your field and that you are within mine. And I'm just so excited to meet you too. Either in person as one of the various different gatherings or virtually, however that it's meant to be. And thank you to our guides and to all our ancestors for being here. Thank you to you. And we are ending 929. Magical signs everywhere. I love you so much, my soul families. Until next time. Bye, guys.